All right, it's official. Welcome to our Soothing Transitions New Year's call. We have been doing these New Year's calls for a while now, and I always like to pick some sort of theme to weave into them a bit. I loved last year's. We weaved in, if anyone remembers who was there for the last year call, we weaved in collaboration and connection. And so we were really feeling into connecting with spirit throughout the themes. And I love that. And we'll do a little bit of that as well today, of course, you know me. Um, but I really was feeling pulled to weave in some some soothing, nervous system regulating, inner peace tools as well, because I know how impactful this has been for me over the last year, and so impactful that as of now, I feel pretty sure that it's going to be my theme for the next year for 2024. And we'll get more into that in a few. But it's been so impactful and meaningful to me. There's so much going on in the world. Um, and and in our own lives and in our relationships and our work, and to be able to be present with what's going on, and as empaths, and be compassionate and be in our work without having to shut everything down. um, I really feel that that comes from being able to regulate our systems, from being able to find an internal peace, rather than always looking for that externally, finding that within ourselves. And so I'm not going to overwhelm us today. Sometimes I like to be like, here's 5 million different ways you can do this, but I picked two tools that will really feel into today. So I'm hoping that you'll be able to take those with you and incorporate them into your life if they resonate. So we'll just touch upon a couple different things, and of course we'll do our New Year's reflection and intention setting, and we're going to do it a little bit different this year, which I'm excited about too. So just some new things for me to lead today. Um, so hopefully it will all come out. I'm sure together we'll make it through. If you have any questions, definitely use the chat. And yeah, I think that's all. I could see, so many, as I would say before we started recording, so many faces that I haven't seen in a while or that I have, and also some new faces. And so welcome. I'm Sarah Solman. I am a self-proclaimed wing fluffer. And that's what I love to do. I love to fluff your wings. I love to help you connect with yourself and spirit. And yeah, I don't want to spend too much time talking about me, um, because this workshop is actually about you. And I want to hold that space um, for your reflection and for your growth today. So we'll mostly focus on that. All right, let's start with doing a little bit of space opening, just so that we can really ground and get centered to make the most of this time. So I invite you to join me. Maybe uncross your legs, shake it out a little bit, and shake out what came before, what comes after. Bring some intuitive movement, stretching as you start to lengthen and adjust your posture and your body, lengthening to create space. And let's also lengthen our breath, deepening, lengthening that inhale and exhale. Lengthening the space between your thoughts. Creating space, stretching yourself, making room. Set the intention to be right here, right now, fully present in mind, body, and spirit. Our highest self anchored into our body anchored into the earth, sinking and softening, relaxing the lines in your forehead, between your brows, releasing your jaw, pulling back your shoulders, visualizing your wings touching behind you, dropping them down slightly, and notice how that opens your chest, the heart opening movement, supporting you in centering in your heart space in this moment. We invite our spiritual teams to be here with us today. If there's anyone you'd like to collaborate with specifically, and invite them in now. We welcome angels and light beings from the highest source, collectively giving us messages that are in our highest good. We are grounded, we are protected. We welcome divine energy all around us, forming a protective bubble, barrier, surrounding us in brilliant light, above, below, all around. Really feeling this light around you and trusting that it's protection, energetic protection, allowing you to feel safe, calm, peaceful, and open. Set the intention that what comes up and through is helpful to where you are and where you are going. Let's take one more deep breath in together and out, opening the space with love and gratitude. Hey, how's everyone feeling? Let us know in the comments how you're feeling about being here. Are you nervous? Are you excited? Are you feeling grounded and connected? Even if you're feeling resistance, whatever you're feeling, it's welcome here. So let us know how you're doing. All right, hopefully you could already see in that opening of space how we can use some visualization, some slowing down, body movements, intention to start creating more of a feeling of inner peace. And not just a feeling, but a true state of that. And when we are feeling more settled, more calm in our nervous system, we can feel more connection. We have space for more clarity. We can see a zoomed out picture. It's, so often, especially if something is maybe stressful or if anybody else has anxiety, like me, it's really easy to be really zoomed in, looking through a small lens at something. And when we take time to relax our nervous system, to do some exercises to bring about some calm, we create space to zoom out a bit. So already there's first tool with what we did in opening this visualization to help you see the different ways, that stretching, the movement, the lengthening, the breath, the intention, just the slowing down. It's going to create more space for you to get more clarity today. Beautiful. Okay. We have two different paths we could do. We can do our New Year's reflections, our some more inner peace, and then the reflections. All right, let's start with our 2023 reflections because I feel like we just all got grounded and we're clear. And I said we were able to see, this bigger zoomed out picture. So if you have your paper and pen, we're going to start with our, you might want to write at the top, your 2023 reflections. And I feel this is such an important New Year's practice. And I love that we're doing this today on the middle of January to show that you don't have to do anything on New Year's Day or New Year's Eve, or it's all over and you missed it and another year lost. You can do this anytime. We just had the new moon, first new moon of the year, just a couple of days ago. And so that's always a nice time to do it. And, even if there's no wrong time for a fresh start for a new beginning. But today feels like a great day to do it. I do always recommend that you look back and do your reflections, whether it's on the year or any past experiences, because it builds confidence, it builds trust. You're able to see um, more clearly, where you're growing and where you would like to, experience more growth as well. So we're going to start with our reflection. So I'll start saying some things that might trigger you to look back. But what we're really looking for this is, the bigger lessons, the themes of what came up. What do you want to take with you into this year? So we want to take with us the lessons. So we'll surround ourselves in the energy of reflection, zoom out, look back on the past year and start taking notes. Thinking about our life, our work, our reflections, in our relationships and self-care and experiences. Start jotting down. You might just want to do it like a bullet list, point list of some of the things. Also include accomplishments and losses, grief, gains. This past year, you learned so much from the doing and the not doing and the undoing. So let's bring all of that. Let's bring all of that up. See what were the big lessons. Where did you create space? Even if you've already done some reflections, I'm going to maybe before this call, some of these questions might take you a little bit deeper. Some of these cues, so I'll give you some more as well. Where did you create boundaries? What different physical, emotional, mental states really stand out to you over the last year? Where was there pain, and aches and challenges, and also where was there healing? What areas was there stillness or feel really stagnant or sticky when you look back? Are there any areas that there was movement that you want to acknowledge? We can note the discomfort and also the comfort. Where were our soft spaces? Do we find softness with others, in nature, within ourselves, within anything we participated in or turned to? How did you self-soothe? And some of these reflections are going to be holding up a mirror to areas that you could use a little attention and energy, and that's a good thing. So there's no judgment if a mirror is held up and something when you look back makes you feel even more discomfort. It's holding up a mirror. It's insight and guidance to where your work lies. And that's a good thing. That awareness is really good to have. You can't shift without it. Awareness is the key, along with intention. Where did you call yourself on your own bullshit in 23? Or maybe you're just calling yourself on it now. Where's some space for personal responsibility? Where as we hold up mirrors right now, where there are mirrors held up to you over the past year, and also no matter definitely note some things that you're proud of yourself for. What are you proud of yourself for? I mean, maybe it's not totally losing your shit when something happened or not losing it as much as you normally would have. Find it, find the thing, even if you have to reach for it. Find some self pride, something to pat yourself on the back around. I mean, you survived, you got yourself through this year. What can you celebrate about it? You might want to think how your connections weaved into 23, of how you've connected. So we've, been feeling into connecting with ourselves a bit, but what about connections with others, connections with spirit, the things you started, things you completed, the things you just simply let go of and decided it wasn't worth your time and energy. There's there's juiciness in all of these things. And now, if you look over this list that you've just created, what stands out to you the most? What were the big themes? Maybe you chose some themes at the beginning of last year that you remember, but what themes did you choose? What themes showed up for you? What the big themes? One more minute. Finish this part up. If anybody wants to put some of their big themes in the chat to be witnessed in it, we would love that. And if not, that's okay too. All right, I'll say some of the themes, and you might, when you hear them, say, "Oh my gosh, that feels like that was a theme of my year," and you can take note of it too. Trust, survival, surrender, learn to listen to my body and its needs more, connection, boundaries, honesty, confidence, regulate, full circle and breaking cycles, reconnection, family, boundaries, transformation, courage, clarity, honoring myself and my needs by creating and maintaining boundaries, learning, speaking, honoring my truth, opening up, strengthening connection and trust in myself. These are so beautiful. I love it. I love it. Interestingly, I also find, we can say, oh, it's a new year. I can just, and you can do anything you want, obviously. That's like my favorite thing, to give myself permission to do whatever I want. Uh, and you can just pick a random theme that sounds awesome to feel into. But I also wonder if you see how the seeds that were planted in 2023 are giving you some insight as to what you're going to harvest in 24. That's kind of what I found for myself as I spent a lot of the last year working on, internal validation over external, and the inner peace that I was able to find even when all else was just hell and chaotic around me and in the world is, oh my gosh, I want to spend an entire year focusing on this. This is, um, I've had so many lessons already. I can't imagine what another year. And so I chose to keep going with what was already presented to me. And that just feels so natural, such a natural progression. And so I'm really excited about that. And so you might see, what seeds are planted, where your work may lie. And when you pick your theme for this next year. And I always say that, we pick a theme and then all these, like maybe one of these themes you picked, but then how many of these, were put on your path? Um, anyway, So, but it's always nice to see a theme and to anchor into it. And what I find is I like to pick a theme that I can weave into all the areas of my life, into my relationship with myself and my relationship with others, into my work. And so those are always my favorite themes. And I love looking back through the lens of my theme and my last year and see how it showed up, what opportunities and lessons were, you know, came to me and that I chose because of this. And I love just each year, I feel like, especially if some of you that had like one big theme that stands out, it's like, whoa, 23 was the big overarching theme was clarity, for example. I saw somebody put that. And then you choose your next theme and you just keep adding them up. And I always like to set my theme with either my age or the year. So 23 was about, for me, my theme that I chose was intimacy and presence. So I would see the number 3 and it would be like my angels. Oh, there's a 23 on my clock right now. Thank you, angels. 1, 2, 3, 3, actually. So it would be like my angels or my guides being like, oh yeah, remember this. This is your theme. This is what you're working on. And I, would give me time to bring it into my awareness, to feel into a little bit. And so when I choose my new theme, I place it with the new number or my age that I am that year. It works out better for, some of us maybe with it than others. And then when I see 2024 written down, which right now we see it all extra at the beginning of the year, but we see it all the time throughout the year. I see that number, I see 2024, or it might be 24. For me, usually with my year's theme, I like to see it in either way. And it's just like a nudge from my highest self or from my team to keep me on the path that I'm choosing. And so I want to share that with you in case that's something that sounds fun for you to do as well. I feel like I established that contract with my team. Like, okay, I need to remember my theme. So, this year I'm choosing this inner peace, this softness, calming, melting, regulating my nervous system, kind of overarching theme with the buzzword, of peace. That when I see 2024, it's going to be this reminder to slow down and breathe and welcome that energy. So I invite you to make that contract with your spiritual team if that feels good as well. And then also still when I see 23, I will remember, what that theme means for me as well, or 2023. For me, I really made it the 2023 with my theme because also 23 was my nanny's number. And so I like to think of her as just showing up for me when I see 23. So the more you work with me, you'll see these, these numbers are everywhere and we can make all these contracts with our angels around them and what they specifically mean to us and help us communicate with spirit more and also help us in our personal and spiritual development journeys. All right. So maybe you haven't picked a theme yet and for 24 and that's fine. There's no rush. I always like to try a few on, but I wanted to give you that tip for when you do. And this next exercise might help you get to that theme, but it certainly will help you get some insight to what's ahead for you. And so we're going to do just a simple exercise, and we're going to connect with our highest self, our spiritual team, and ask them to show in our own inner knowing, in our intuition. And we're going to ask for some insight as to what's to come for us. So we're going to come up with our own intuitive guidance for our year ahead. And we're going to ask that through, I'm going to have a couple questions for you, and you're going to jot down or feel into the response. And now the answers to the questions might come to you as you might see a vision of it. Maybe you're a visual person, or maybe you'll just have a knowing. You can also use your conscious embodied choice to just pick one. Like, oh, that sounds good. Let's pick that one for this year. And maybe knowing what it means or not, I'm going to, after we go through this, I'm going to say, okay, if you pick this, this is what it means. So you can have some insight into the guidance. And then I think that would be fun. I hope y'all enjoy this as much as me. You might want to pick the first thought that pops into your mind. But in my experience, sometimes I find that my initial reaction or response sometimes is actually a patterned response. And sometimes what's more sometimes what resonates with me even more and deeper is what comes after that initial gut response. Because sometimes that's just a pattern or it's my comfort zone. And so you can pick that, or if you want, you can pick what's on the other side of your initial gut response. So you have this conscious choice, this embodied conscious choice, as you combine your knowing and your guidance. So does anyone, I think, hopefully that makes sense to everyone, and I think you'll figure it out as we go along. Okay. So I'll invite you to close your eyes. Think about your themes for 2023 with gratitude. Notice how you feel when you think back on your and feel into the past year as we just did. As now you choose what to bring with you into the next year and what to leave in the past. Welcome the new shifting energies of 2024. We welcome guidance and insight as to what's ahead for us. We call in our highest self to help us with this. So often, our highest self is floating just outside of our body. Let's invite her in. If there's anyone specific that you want to collaborate with from your spiritual team, as we move through this exercise, you can invite them in now. We ask that spirit that does come in, the responses come up. With a shared vision that matches your own. So we have clear guidance, clear insight. We tap in to the guidance from above and our wisdom within. In our mind's eye, we'll begin painting a picture of ourself in 2024. I ask that you choose or are guided toward a color of the rainbow to wear as an outfit or a cloak or a cape. Go ahead and dress yourself in the color of the rainbow. And be guided there. Use your conscious choice. You can try on a color and then change your mind. Knowing that this color represents insights and guidance into what's ahead in 2024 for you. And once you have that color, we'll move on to choosing an element that will offer you insight as to what's ahead. Do you go toward the fire, toward water, toward the air and wind? Are you guided to the earth? Or maybe even a storm? Choose one of those elements to give you insight as to what's ahead. See yourself connecting and interacting with this element in some way. Again, your choices are fire, water, air, earth, or storm. Notice how you interact with the element that you choose. And now notice a number written on your hand, number 1 through 10, that offers you insight. And also notice if there's any helpful companions offer you insight as well. The people, community, animals. Notice who you're being guided to that will support you, and either beings that you know or don't know. Transitioning through this year. And lastly, is there any guidance around how to take care of yourself, cultivating more peace within, more settled knowing and softness? There's any final message from your highest self or any members of your spiritual team, welcome this message now. Be a word, a phrase, some bit of guidance. Remember the color you're wearing, the element you chose to interact with, the number on your palm, any people or animals around you, and any messages as you come back into your room, into your body, thanking the visions, that you were given, the knowing that you were able to tap into, trusting that you can come back and access more information from your team and your highest self later. But for now, let's come back, wiggling your fingers and toes, fluttering your eyes open when you're ready, and jotting down the main things you'd like to remember. Right. And I have some insight into some of the things that we talked about so we can see what messages came from it too. It'll take about a minute and a half to jot some things down. Then you'll have more to jot down, I'm sure, as I share my insights to what some of this guidance could have been pointing toward. I'm going to communicate with you some things that this guidance could have pointed out, but always trust your own intuition. If any of this doesn't resonate, just leave it. But also, your highest self and your spiritual team is going to communicate with you in a way that you can understand. So you don't have to go to page 256 of a particular guidebook to know what they're communicating. It's how do these messages resonate with you? They're going to connect in ways that you'll understand. But I'll give you a little bit of insight to some of it as well. As far as the element, let's start with what was the first thing we did? The color, right? I think that's where we started. All right. So based on the color, I just did the rainbow. So that would be kind of chakra. So if you, and also you can look these up and see what else it means if you want to get some more information. But for my download for my team before this call, I saw if you chose red, that the year ahead would represent grounding, getting grounded, represent you feeling more secure and safe, creating more boundaries, and also really working on your finances. Very anchoring year for you in all ways if you chose red. If you chose orange, this year will be about sensuality and connection and feeling. It will be about creativity and also healing trauma specifically is what I got for that. And let me know, what color you chose. Why doesn't everyone put their color in the chat? That would be cool, the color they chose. For yellow, this year will be about healing emotions, about growing in confidence, about boundaries in relationships, about personal power. That would be yellow. All right. If you chose green, this year is about love, giving love and receiving love, finding the balance in that. It will be about heart expansion and sharing healing energy with others. You got blue. Yeah, I see some people pick colors that might be between two colors, so you can always kind of take, each of the two colors. So, if it was teal, maybe that's green and blue, or something like that. Okay, so blue would be this year ahead. You'll be guided toward and have opportunities and lessons around communicating. You'll have big growth around communication. And this is the year that you speak your truth unapologetically, where what's expressed is in alignment with how you feel on the inside. So this will be a year of integrity for you as well if you chose blue. For indigo, this will be about really increasing your intuitive gifts, your intuition. It'll be about study and gaining knowledge, and about really tapping in and trusting your inner knowing. And purple would be about, this year ahead will be about connection and collaboration, especially with spirit, and about trust and leadership. And if you chose white, I believe it's all of it. So watch out. A big year, lots of opportunities and lessons. If you chose like black, protection, these are not even of the rainbow. So, but sometimes we just do what we want. Like, as I said, I do, and go rogue. So black will be protection and mystery. And you can always look it up and see what other messages come with your color as well. All right, let's go on to, all right, everyone type in what the number was on your hand. And then take note of what I say for your number, because I'll go pretty quick. All right, and we'll see. Oh, this is interesting. Look at all this overlap, y'all, of the numbers. I love that Kim did what she wanted. I said 1 to 10 and Kim has 42. So you have to look that one up, Kim. I love it though. I love it. All right. You don't see any ones, but we'll just go through it anyway. Ah, yes, you can always break it down, add it up. Perfect. So maybe it's a 6 for Kim for the 42. Okay, 1 I have, and obviously you can go in an angel number book. You can go on my favorite. If anyone wants to type in my favorite angel number site, it's Joanne the Sacred Scribe, and everyone can save that and bookmark that link if anyone has it handy and can type it in. But that's my favorite number site, and they go up pretty far. But we'll just do the 1 through 10 because that's what I was intuited. No, Joanne. Sacred Scribe. But if you can, if anyone has the website, that would be awesome. Okay, so number 1, if you got 1, beginnings, new beginnings, fresh starts. 1 would represent self, connection to yourself. So if you chose 1, that's what you're being guided to work on this year. Starting things, new beginnings, really working on your personal development journey. 2, you chose 2, you'll be guided this year to connecting with others and connecting with spirit. So 2 would be about connection to others and spirit, and also aligning with love. Thank you, Kim. That's perfect. That's Kim just put in my favorite number site. 3, a lot of you, I think, at 3 would be about expansion and higher power. 4, angels, communication, and expanding gifts. 5 is change and transformation. 6 would be balance, including working on like your daily habits and routines, finding that balance. 7, manifestation, magic, luck. 8, abundance, and also infinity, connection. Connection between all things, repeating cycles. And this is an 8-year, so we'll all have some of that. This 2024 is an 8-year. 9, light work, mastery, and highest self. And 10 would be a year of completion and things coming full circle. So these are just some of the things that I was intuiting or that I know about the numbers, but there's definitely more, and that is not all encompassing. Okay, so let's finish up by doing the elements, and then all right, let us know what element you chose to interact with. And I mean, I would obviously love to know how you interacted with the element, because that's always cool too. But the choices that I had given were water, air, fire, earth, and storm. Okay. Yes, the air I had air/wind. That is right. Oh, this is so cool. All right. I feel like these are going to be the most insight personally to what's coming for you this year, because I mean, even then I was being really specific, to this can be shown to you, but also like, what do you choose? Because ultimately I asked you to choose this. So I feel like this is what's being guided toward, but also what you're choosing for the year ahead. So if you chose fire, this will be a year of transformation. It will be a year of burning it all down and rebirth. Phoenix, think Phoenix moment. This will be a year for shadow work, for embracing your passions, for fiery connections. If you chose water, this coming year will be a big year of reflection. It will be a very cleansing year for you. It will be an emotional year, all the range of emotions. It will be a year that you really are asked to look at the past and find your lessons and your growth in the bigger picture from your past experiences, from regrets, from traumas. And you're really going to be guided this year and really embrace being more flexible. And not necessarily physically flexible, but also that, but also, flexible in your mind, in your relationships, in your interactions. So I think both with the flexibility. Okay, if you chose wind and air, this is going to be a big year of movement for you. You're going to be energized. There's going to be changes in your home, in your career, in your mindsets, and in your boundaries. So lots of movement and lots of energy surrounding you. And I think you're going to have, it will carry you, so you'll have extra energy to move forward, and it will be a year of activation. Oh, for water, I also had intuition. Sorry, just saw that. It was kind of on the side. So if it was water, a year of increasing and growing in your intuition. Okay. Wind and air, energized in sharing your gifts. There'll be some shapes shifting if you chose air and wind, some shape shifting this year. If you chose earth, This will be a grounding year. It'll be about nourishment and nurturing. It'll be about planting seeds and growth and harvesting. It'll be a year of coming back to center, harmony, focusing on routines in your life, your work, and your health. Really grounded, very connected, feet on the ground, healing year for you. And if you chose storm, good luck. I put that was basically like choosing Moldavite, and it's just gonna be like a massive shakeup, but kind of, you can go at any pace to get where you want to go, but if you chose storm, you're going to get there fast. So brace yourself, but massive, massive shakeup. And the elements of water and wind and air all in that. So emotional, energized, transformation, change, and you'll have to be flexible to make it through. All right. I hope let me know yes or no. Did those meanings resonate with you for those things based on what came up? Did that feel like that could be spot on? And if not, keep going and find the thing and find the correlations. Also with the colors, you can look at what chakra that is connected to and what part of your body. And that could be some insight of, areas you'll be working on and connection to healing and health. In those areas as well. And then if you did choose any animals came to you, go ahead and look that up and see what the meanings are. Pick storm. Oh, I knew somebody would. And yeah, it's like a like it or not. And also, if there were any people that came up, definitely, take note of how they can support you in your year ahead. And so I hope that this picture that we started painting can help you. Maybe they'll help you get clear about your theme, about what you want to really focus on. So all this is inside of what's coming up. Maybe that can help you make that conscious embodied choice as to what you'd like to focus on. And when you pick a theme, I never say pick a theme lightly, because it's really, it's manifesting. It's putting intention and energy into something, and you're asking for lessons and opportunities in that area. And and I always like to use the example of the year that I chose trust and patience. Like, holy shit, that was a lot of opportunities to work on trust and patience. It was a really tough year. And my daughter was born that year and she was crazy. And so, it's like, what are you ready to really level up in? So you kind of look at what came up in your intuitive knowing and your guidance from this exercise, what seeds were already planted in 23, where mirrors was held up. And it's easy to pick 75 themes, but then are you really going to be able to do alignment checks with that in your life and really keep that in the forefront of your mind and really work with it if you pick too much? So 1 to 2, 3 max words for your theme will probably serve you the most, so that you can really put energy, focus, attention, intention into it. So there's no pressure to choose now, but if you have chosen your year, let us know in the chat if you want to be witnessed in it, or even if you're just trying it on, you can say, I'm trying this theme on, because, it's kind of like, I feel like you pick it, but then you have to try it on and make sure it fits, like ordering something online. You can, people with your same body type might say it fits them and the sizing chart might fit, and you think it's going to be perfect, but you have to try it on and see how it feels. Is it comfortable? Is this how is this what you want to wear? So make sure that you try it on for a little bit and then change it. If it doesn't feel good, choose something else and try that on first for a little bit, so that you can really use this in your life. And also, no matter what element you picked, all the elements in some way are going to show up throughout your life, right? All the different colors, all these areas in some way are going to show up in this next year. But this exercise was just to kind of get that big highlighted insight that's more specific to you by putting together these, the different components. I normally wouldn't answer this text to give the link over an hour in, but it's for my beautiful cousin. So heck yeah, we're gonna send her the link. Okay. I'm just sending it to everyone who asked for it. There's just a few. All right. All right, let's see these themes. Healing through embodiment and self-love. Healing, beautiful. One says, I need to give myself grace, kindness, generosity, love, understanding, etc. That's what I give to others. Beautiful. Yeah, I love that you said that, Dawn. I sometimes see posts that say something like, you can only love others to the extent that you could love yourself, or you can't welcome love if you don't have self-love and something. And all of us who have not come from a place of self-love know that that's not true. Everyone on this call, I'm sure we can give all this love to other people. And that doesn't isn't a reflection on our ability to love ourselves, but it does show that it's possible and that we can love ourselves like we love others. But it doesn't have to go in that order, that you have to first have, be at this certain level of personal development or of healing or of self love in order to welcome love or to welcome a relationship or be where you're meant to be. And so, I'm always judging those posts. Like, that's not true. Or at least, for myself, judging for myself, calling bullshit a little bit. And so I love, Dawn, that you mirrored that, because I was just saw a post like that yesterday. And I was like, oh, I wish I could let people know that it doesn't have to go in that order. Um, that you don't have to cultivate, because I feel like most of us empaths and wounded healers, it kind of goes in the other order. Sometimes we have this love and we're giving to others first, and then we finally learn how to give that to ourselves as well. So I love that you're working on that, Dawn. That's beautiful, and I know you can do it because I've seen how you love others, and you're so generous and beautiful and loving. Yeah. Oh, I love that. Kim said, I learned to love myself through loving my children. Yeah, exactly. That's beautiful. Karen, can you share where you got all the meanings for the numbers, elements, colors? Well, I downloaded it from Spirit last night. Um, some of a lot of that. It's just kind of my knowledge of chakras and elements from working with them and numbers for so long. Some of the number stuff was taken from Kyle Gray's Angel Number book, but a lot was just my insight into those things. So I don't have resources right now ready to go on that, but yeah, that's my most truthful. That's my most truthful response to that. All right, Woodrow is for his theme is landing on hope and belief. Ooh, that gave me a little goosebump through like my spinal cord. That sounds really beautiful. It feels really good. Trust. Oh, that's an awesome theme. Oh, healing from trauma came up 4 different times. Wow. Yes. You can definitely post resources. We have the Lightworker Rising Facebook group that we can post resources in and share those too. And then, you can use those for angel numbers and to look up your animals as well. Beautiful. All right, let's switch a little bit, which one should, all right, I have two inner peace exercises I want to share with you that you can take with you to help you through all your transitions and your states and your thoughts and your difficulties over the next year, something to take with you. Let's start. When should we start? Let's start with some breath because that's going to help us shift the energy from the writing and the reflecting and get some movement going. Downloaded from Spirit is my favorite answer. It was the true answer too. All right, so let's shake it out again, get some movement. Shaking, moving your body is a good way to release some energy, just get things moving and shifting and flowing. All right, we're going to move into a breath practice to help us with regulating our nervous system and creating some inner peace. I like this particular breath a lot. If you're like aware of how you're feeling and it's uncomfortable. So like for maybe your spiral on it, like who else has anxiety spirals? Show of hands, all my hands are up. So I like this breath for that because it's really derailing. For me, like deep breaths, although honestly, my favorite thing, if anyone's looking to give me advice, my favorite advice ever to receive is to breathe. I always need that advice. I always love it. So at any time, especially if I'm being all ADHD-ish or whatever, you could chat me, like take a breath or breathe, remember to breathe. That's my most welcoming advice. So I want to say, but when when I'm on an anxiety spiral, sometimes even a deep breath, even though it is a conscious act, it isn't enough to derail that spiral. So I like this breath to really shift the energy. If you're going 60 miles an hour with ruminating thoughts, sometimes just having that deep breath doesn't really derail you. And it's like, okay, I took a deep breath, but still, oh my God, da, 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 and you're still on that hamster wheel. And so this breath I really like for in a moment of distress that really helps bring about some calm and some inner peace. I also like the reminder to hydrate while I'm giving you advice on how to advise me. I also like advice to hydrate and drink water. So now you know all my secrets. All right. So this breath that I'm going to share has a big emphasis on the exhale. And so it's going to feel good even now, but if there's a time when you're having kind of that anxiety, and you do this, let me know. This one especially, I don't know, does anyone else like wake up to pee in the middle of the night and then you go lay down and then all of a sudden you start thinking about something and you have trouble getting back to sleep? I don't know if anyone else has that, but this breath really helps me derail from the thoughts and lets me get back to sleep also, like when I'm lying in bed. So I really do like this one. Get some joiners. Yay. Okay. So we'll start by just breathing normally. And then we're going to do a big exhale out. When you think you can't exhale anymore, exhale a little bit more, and then let all the breath naturally rush back in, fill you back up in your chest and your stomach, feel that expansion. And then again, when it's all the way full, push that exhale out, and then push out the extra when you get to the edge of the exhale, and then let it fill back up. So that's how the breath goes. So let's do a couple of rounds of that now that I've explained it. Let's do it. Regular inhale, exhale all the breath out, get to the edge of it, and then do an extra push of exhale. Then naturally let your breath rush back in, fill you up. Like you don't even have to make any effort to inhale. It just rushes back in. And then once you're full, push it back out in a deep exhale with the extra push and let it rush back in. Push that breath out, extra, let it naturally fill back up. And when you're ready, settle back into your normal breath and notice how you're feeling in your head and in your body. Maybe you're feeling a little brain tingly. You've created some space. And if you were doing this at a time when you were having some distress, you could then try to think back to what you were thinking of before you did this breath and see where you created some space, where there's been a shift in that thought process. When you breathe like this, when I breathe like this, I find that this creates some space for curiosity and clarity. It creates more softness and more peace. And it's really helpful because breathing like that, it takes your full attention. So it can distract you um, from spiraling, help you derail from that and recenter. So it feels like a reset. How was that breath for you? Awesome. Holy moly, I was able to almost double the amount of breath I took in after 5 or 6 breaths. Yeah, it's so interesting that you really just like push that exhale and then how the inhale, it just naturally, you don't have to do any work at all. I love how it just fills you and it's easier. It doesn't, for me also, as a reformed chest breather, it's always trying to remember to breathe all the way in and get it down to the belly. I feel that breathing like that also gets that air, not just into the lungs, but into the trunk as well and feels really helpful. And I think that also adds to this tingling, once you return to your normal breath and you get the brain tingles, but also I feel kind of this tingly sensation throughout my body because I just got all this oxygen, breath, and release and created all this space. So that's one tool that you can take with you to help you no matter what's going on in your external situation to create some peace within. Because then when you go back and feel into the external situation, you're going to see it through a different lens. It helps you zoom out a bit, as we talked about at the beginning of this call. So often we're really zoomed in. It helps you zoom out. So it helps with your physical, emotional, and mental state. So that's a tool to take with you. Ollie said whole body sensations, tingly for sure, and redirecting. Beautiful. I'm so happy to see you. All right. Well, good. I'm glad that y'all practiced that with me. I want to share another tool, um, another inner peace exercise. And this one I got from, I have a source for this one, Karen. The book Anchored by Deb Dana. It's a How to Befriend Your Nervous System book, which I have a few books on so far. I love learning about this and I'm hoping to bring a lot of it into my work in this coming year and in sharing these tools with you. Oh, Amy, that's cool. I will try that when I'm swimming to use that breath to swim far underwater. That's awesome because it really does expand because because especially on the exhale, you think, oh, I breathed out all the way, but then there's more. You find out, oh, there was more. I still had more in me. To exhale and how the breath really expands the amount you can take in and out. Okay. Michelle, the book that this next that exercise was not downloaded or was not in the book. I'm sorry. The book is called Anchored, How to Befriend Your Nervous System Using Polyvagal Theory by Deb Dana. Okay, so this exercise is taken from her book. And this also would be something that you would use. There's all these things to befriend your nervous system that don't happen when you're in distress. But I really wanted, knowing I was only going to share a couple tools with you, I really wanted something that you could take with you. The tools that would cause you, that you would get the most benefit from, that could really help you with some inner peace and soothing, and having more soothing transitions, and open you up and create space, in this year. So I picked two that are more for, that are really good if you're having any sort of distress. So with this one, there's a couple parts to it. So you start with your self-awareness of an issue. So your startup statement could be something like, this is a moment of suffering, right? Awareness of your feeling or your state, right? I am uncomfortable. I'm suffering in this moment. I am grieving. I am anxious. I am heartbroken. I am sad. I am angry. I am mad, whatever it is. So it starts with the self awareness. So here's the issue. So you connect with yourself. Connect with your awareness. So that's the first part. You recognize that what's going on, what you're feeling is uncomfortable, you're upset, you're suffering. The first step is that awareness statement, right? This is a moment, I am suffering. My nervous system is in survival response. Okay. So that's part one, the awareness. Part two is when you connect that. So part two could be suffering as part of life. Everyone experiences this. It is normal to experience this feeling. Moments of my nervous system trying to protect itself and having this flare up um, is normal. That happens for everyone. So first you connect with yourself and your awareness, then you kind of make the connection to the world and to others, and like this is happening, and this is normal. This is how the nervous system works. It tries to protect me when something feels scary or uncomfortable or uneasy. And so I kind of have this kind of flare up, this protection moment, this dysregulation. So this is normal. Suffering is part of life, right? Everyone experiences this. This is normal. It's okay. This happens for everyone. So that's the second part, is the connection to others. And then the third part is where you create some space to be compassionate and kind to yourself. And that this is the space where you soften around it and you befriend your nervous system and you feel it calm down. So the third part would be, may I be kind to myself? May I bring some calmness or softness into this moment? May I show myself some grace and compassion? So those are kind of the three setups, right? This is the moment of recognizing the awareness. This is the moment of suffering. The second part, the connection with the world, and that this is a normal part of being human. And then the third is welcoming some softening around it, welcoming some compassion, creating some space to befriend your nervous system, to let yourself calm down, and asking that you're kind to yourself in this moment, that you welcome compassion, that you soften around this, that you take a breath. And what this does is this helps you, again, kind of like that breathing, it creates space for curiosity, it creates space for clarity. It allows you to see the zoomed out, the bigger picture, right? Instead of just ruminating on every anxious or unsettling thought, it creates some space to be okay within your mind, within your body, within your nervous system. and helps you settle and create inner peace around something that is even unsettling, that's outside of you, that's external. And it creates trust with yourself and your nervous system and its power to let you experience peace and softening internally, regardless of your external circumstances. So I wanted to give you that tool as well. Does that sound good to everyone? Does that make sense what the parts would be? And so, you know, you might have something to work on it with now. And so please do that setup and you can share if you want. But if not, take this with you because you will have opportunity to use this most likely today and tomorrow, because that's how real this is. That's how often our system becomes dysregulated. And a lot of times we stay dysregulated. And so all of our interactions and all the way that we process everything is coming with from, this view, we something happens to get us in that fight or flight and then we just stay in that. And so this helps us keep bringing ourselves back to softening, to creating some space, so that we're not stuck. So we're not stuck with this dysregulation. Um, okay, there was a question. All right, I need a little help with part 3. How should I soften? So I believe that the part 3 is like, may I be kind to self, may I soften, may I show myself compassion. It's not just saying it, but it's welcoming that state of being. And with practice, you'll get better, right, tapping into that, like meditating, like slowing down. Um, so it's putting out that intention, but then also welcoming, right, that state, the letting yourself melt. Like how at the beginning, remember when we were doing the opening, um, or opening visualization or meditation, and we were relaxing the lines of our forehead and between our brow and releasing our jaw and pulling our shoulders back and stretching and lengthening. So sometimes it's the movement, or it could be the opening, or it's the breath, or it's just inviting in that energy. So it's not going to probably always be the same way for you. Um, but there's this welcoming, this soothing state. A tip that was in the book was you can place your hand on your heart, on your womb space, or one in each, and the 3 statements. If you know that you could even practice, if we want to practice them right now, you can put a hand on your heart. You can put one on your womb if you want. Right? This is a moment of discomfort. Discomfort is part of life. May I be kind to myself and soften within this. Right? This is a moment of discomfort. Discomfort is part of life. May I be kind to myself and soften within this. It helps you let down guard a little bit, helps soothe you. And what I really love about this is it's not bypassing the feeling of discomfort. It's not skipping beyond it to the better feeling and just sweeping everything under the carpet, which I spent decades doing. And last year was really about, okay, let's shake out the carpet, see what's under it, and deal with it. And so this allows you to do that in the moment, which is really awesome. So there's no spiritual bypassing, there's no criticizing yourself for feeling this way or having this experience, or needing to shut down yourself emotionally or shut out the rest of the world. It allows you to still show up and see what's going on in the world, be aware of what's going on within yourself, and also find this peace. So I hope that is helpful, and you'll welcome in some practicing around that. Um, Another thing that all right, Krista, thank you for summarizing it. Recognize what's happening, allow the experience to be there just as it is, investigate with interest and care, nurture with self-compassion. Thank you, Krista. That's beautiful. Okay, something else that is very helpful in regulating our nervous system and creating inner peace is connection. So we did a lot of time today connecting with ourselves, right? That's one way, connecting with ourselves. There's connecting with others, helps us, and connecting with spirit. Those are like, connection is so valuable. Um, I think a lot of us, when our nervous system feels like dysregulated, we just shut everything out. We just try to not be with our own thoughts, and distraction, and shut ourselves up from the world and everything going on. But actually, it's interesting that connection um, is what helps us feel that sense of inner peace. And I want to share an opportunity before we go. If anyone is looking for more connection with yourself, with others, with spirit, the Lightworker Within mentorship is back. It's been 2 years now, and it's our Lightwork 101 level course. And it is just filled with um, empath tools and protection, energy work, divination tools, oracle cards, pendulums, mindset work, chakras, and crystals. But none of it's overwhelming because it's just an entry level, and we spend a month on each topic. It's a 10-month course, so it's like going to magic school. It's like going to Hogwarts. And it's just so beautiful. It's my baby. Many of you have been there before. I'm going to go ahead and put the link in case anyone wants to look it up in the chat. And also, I'm going to offer you a discount code that's going to be available for just 2 days for anyone that participated in this workshop. The discount is actually going to be off the early bird pricing, which is up now. So it's even would be less than it was in 2022, which is crazy just for the workshop participants. So I will give you that. Yay, I love all the graduates giving it praise. So I'm going to give you a discount code. The discount code is workshop, all lowercase, I believe. And that would give you 15% off. I want to, I'll email you that too, but that's just going to be open for 2 days, that extra steep discount. And the discount goes off not even the base program, or even if you wanted to work one-on-one with me and do the upgrade, it even works on that, which is crazy, unheard of for that one-on-one connection at this discounted rate. But I really want to do something special to just honor this call and what we did here and honor you. So extra discount. There's going to be more. I have more information and things for you too if you want about this program. If you're thinking about it, the website is being redone. So I sent you a link to a page on it, but it's a work in progress. But over the next 2 weeks, it's gonna all get beautiful. All right, so our first call is 3/3 for all you angel number lovers. 3/3, March 3rd is our very first call for the next round. And we spend a month on each theme. You get to be in a soul circle community and get a smaller call with one of our mentors who are graduates of this program, and they're both on this call right now. I always ask 2 people who have graduated from all 3 levels. This is the first level. All 3 of my Lightworker rising levels. This first level is Lightworker Within mentorship, and then there's this Lightworker Circle and Lightworker Crafting Circle. And I invite 2 people that have graduated from all 3 parts and who are actively doing this work in the world to join me as mentors and to hold space. And so we have Krista Marie, who's here, and Michelle Hayes. So I know a lot of you know them, and I'm just so honored and excited. They are beautiful and smart, and I learn from them, and they're going to add so much to this, because they have their own way of understanding and explaining these things and working with the tools. And so we'll have, this expanded, um, just this expanded outlook and ways to, to use these tools and embrace them. And so each of them will be holding a monthly soul circle call where you get to, so I'll do a group call where I teach you what we're working on and show you the tools. And then you'll have an opportunity to practice the tools. So let's say it's a month that we're doing energy work and healing work. You can come and practice that with Michelle and with Krista. Or if we're doing card readings, pendulums, you'll come and practice those tools with one of them. Yes, Dawn, you would get 15% more off of that early bird pricing that you saw on the website with the discount code. So that's just for two days. And then I'm also going to hold one monthly intuitive coaching call. And it's going to alternate when it is to try to, so hopefully more people can come and be part of this. But each month I will hold space for intuitive coaching call where you can just come and get support around anything. It doesn't have to be specific to what we're working on together in the mentorship. And yeah, it's just beautiful. Does anyone have any questions about it that I can answer? Carrie said she loves the collab, so good for all. She's a grad. Yes, she is. Just do it. Love you, Carrie. Carrie, there's something I'm going to want to talk to you about too, by the way. I'm also going to have a cohort. I'd like to have a cohort for teens that will be completely separate. If anyone knows of any teens that would be interested, let me know. My vision was to have a group of 15 through 19-year-olds that is separate that I'll be working with specifically around these tools. So far, everyone that's been interested is younger than that range. And so I'm thinking of doing a separate cohort of 12 to 14, but I feel like that should be separate, the 12-year-olds from the 17-year-olds. I would present this work a little bit differently. So if I get enough interest, I will do a teen group, or enough interest, I would do a younger teen or tween, preteen, what do you call it now, group as well. And so I'm just really excited to, I think back I was 15 when I started being so interested I started palm reading and being interested in astrology and all these things, but I didn't know how to do it healthy. I didn't know how to protect myself. And I certainly didn't have all the mindset lessons and exercises that we also introduce into this. We talk about self-talk and our inner bully. And I didn't have anyone to guide me through that. And, I think like, oh my gosh, how amazing it would have been in my life. It's amazing at any age. It's amazing at 60, it's amazing at 44 to introduce these things. But, why not help the younger generation of light workers in this as well, to do this in a really healthy and beautiful, protected way. So if anyone's interested in that, please let me know. And, of course, there will be parent permission and contract signed before for the young ones. And I would insist that I have a 20-30 minute call with any teens or tweens to see if, they're ready for this, and, make sure that they're really interested. It's not just their parent pushing them into it, but that they're wanting to do it as well. So I would like to have that conversation and make sure that it's a good fit and a good match. So that's also an opportunity. All right. Thank you so much for everyone. If you have any questions, definitely reach out to me. Again, here is the info about the Lightworker within mentorship. The discount code to get 15% off all the levels, open for 2 days only, is workshop, all lowercase. If you have any questions about what we did today, or want to share your insights to your 2024 that you got in our, intuitive feeling into it, I would love to know. Or have any questions or about what you saw, or want to share your theme, I would love that as well. So please do let me know. And thank you again for showing up. I want to make sure as we close that we honor ourselves for being here because you took time, out of your day for this self-care, for this period of personal growth. And I always think we should do a pat on the back when we do this work for ourselves. So we'll do a pat on the back and we'll thank ourselves for showing up. Thank each other for being here as well, for witnessing, for guiding, for encouraging. Let's thank our spiritual teams for bringing us together, for their support, for their guidance, for their presence, for the connection. And thanking ourselves, each other, and spirit. We release all the energies of this space. We let go of what we're ready to let go of from the year before. We welcome the energies of this moment. May we be present in all the moments to come. We welcome and embody our reflections, our lessons, and our guidance. May this call and what came up for you be supportive to where you are and where you are going. We call all of our energy back to us with an inhale. And then a big exhale, we let go of everything that isn't ours. One more big inhale, calling all your energy back to you from all places, people, situations, conversations, and timelines. And a big exhale of release. And with deep love and gratitude, we close this space. Thank you, thank you, thank you.